Jack Campbell. What was that? Wow. Oh, wowie, wow. I don't know what else to say other than that. That was quite the performance, Captain Jack. We're going to talk about the Leafs and the Bolts, and we're going to talk about the fact that the Toronto Maple Leafs have a 2-1 series lead over the Bolts right now? What world are we living in? Here we go, Leafs Nation. Here we go, Bolts fans. What made all the difference in this game? Well, we could put it into list format. Number one is Jack Campbell. That makes all the difference into the game. We're going to talk all about Captain Jack. This is definitely the best game of his career, and this is exactly what the Toronto Maple Leafs needed out of Jack Campbell to win this series. They needed top 10 goaltending. They didn't need God Mode Jack. They didn't need a guy to copy Vasilevskiy. They got that tonight. They just needed Jack Campbell to be solid, to be steady, and make the first save. They got more of that tonight against the Bolts. The number two reason I want to talk about is another player. It's Ilya Lyubuskin. What a game. What a rebound from Lyubuskin. Like, my goodness, did that guy turn around this game all different types of way. Huge unsung hero for the Leafs. I know you're all going to want to talk about David Kampf, and we're going to go ahead and break down the goals so you can hear, you can see all the greatness that is David Kampf, but I'm going to point out to you the greatness that was also Ilya Lyubuskin. What a game. And number three was the fact that the Leafs used their speed in the first two periods. Unfortunately, they went into a bit of a prevent defense in the third period. We're going to talk about that closer to the back half of the video. That's one of the negatives to take away from this game, but very well done by the Toronto Maple Leafs. Some honorable mention reasons for the Leafs here. They stayed out of the box. I've been saying it all series. Stay out of the muck. Do not let the fourth line, the third line, and the scrappy crap of the Tampa Bay Lightning pull you into the box. Tampa Bay tried the exact same format that worked for them last game. They tried to draw the Maple Leafs into the box with physical stuff, but this time the Leafs didn't bite. The other thing that makes this game quite important is the Leafs scoring early and scoring on the power play. We talked about the specialness that is the Toronto Maple Leafs power play, and you know what? When they get a goal on it right away, the swagger starts for the Leafs, and when they have swagger, they're a totally different team. We can see it over the 3-game sample. They were unable to score on the first 4 minutes of their power play time in game 2. It completely changed the momentum for the Tampa Bay Lightning. So scoring first, and especially with that power play, is super key for the Leafs. Hey guys, you want to know what's super key as well? We have been doing this channel now for a year. I want to say a big thank you to everybody. We've hit 5,000 subscribers. A big part of that is Leafs Nation. We got a ton of Jets fans on this channel. We got a ton of hockey fans on this channel. Bolts fans are in full parade now. I mean, they've had 2 Stanley Cups, 1 cup on this channel. Thank you so much for helping us pass 5,000 subscribers. Also, because we've passed 5,000 subscribers, you know the amount of time and effort that goes into these types of videos. So if you could take a minute and help us out, there's a new feature on YouTube called Super Thanks down below. You go ahead there, it's like a tip jar to your local bartender. So if you like the drinks I'm pouring you, and those drinks are hockey knowledge and truth bombs, as well as great game breakdowns, we would love it. I would love it. The money goes to be reinvested into the channel to keep making amazing content for all of you amazing fans. It would be fantastic if you clicked on that super like button that's highlighted on your screen. And you know what? No pressure either way. Just being here and clicking that like button and that thumbs up button, that's huge for me. Clicking that subscribe button is great, and putting a comment down below, whether you agree, disagree, want a shout out, want to say hello, doesn't matter. It's all there. So if you want to support us with super thanks, thank you so much. And if you want to support us freely by clicking subscribe, like, or comment, that helps a ton as well too. I love all of you, no matter what team you cheer for. So Leafs got out to that early start with that deadly power play, that goal by Morgan Rielly. That was amazing. We're going to go ahead and break down that goal. The Colin Backwell goal was awesome with Lyubuskin froze Vasilevskiy, didn't they? And then David Kampf on a huge hit by Lyubuskin. Big turnover there. Got it up 3-0, but 2 unanswered goals from Tampa Bay. I mean, that Ross Colton goal, you know what? It was a good goal. I mean, what else are you going to say? It's on a power play. There's nothing special there. Like, I'm not going to nail it home and say, oh my God, I can't believe this happened. The Bolts got a great power play. We're just high on the Leafs right now because they won. The Bolts got a great power play. Colton's an amazing young player. Big goal by him. Ondrej Palat ends up scoring after just a fantastic save. Absolutely amazing save by Jack Campbell. But you know what? He makes the first save. The second save is pretty damn impossible. We'll show you that as well too. And then 2 empty netters. This was a really, really unique game because they traded back and forth. But when you take a look at the first period, the Leafs dominated 15 shots to 9. They also had a dominant second period with 14 shots. But in the third period, they started to get nervous, especially after that first goal went in after Ross Colton. And you can see it, Leafs fans, this is the advantage the Bolts have. They're always calm. They're always even Steven. This is a veteran team that has 2 Stanley Cups, has some swagger. They know it. I don't know if you noticed. Comment down below if you did agree or disagree. But I thought the Leafs, they got to play a game where the foot is on the gas at all times. This is an offensive first team. And sometimes in hockey, the best defense is a great offense. And that's because puck possession matters. The more the puck is on your stick and the more you're able to turn over pucks from the opposing players and put it on your stick, the less likely they're going to score. So sometimes team defense in the D zone is a little bit overrated. You want to keep pucks out of your net? Have the puck on your stick, and that's the Leafs game. So when the Leafs stop skating, you can see it. They go into more of a team defense, like we could call it a turtle shell, whatever you want. There's no professional term for it, like prevent defenses in the NFL, but they just start collapsing around the net and they stop going after loose pucks and getting hyper aggressive and sending 2 players. We talk about this in the games all the time. Don't we, Leafs fans? Don't we, Bolts fans? The game's a 2-on-1 game. You need player, you need puck support. And I stopped seeing the Leafs send 2 after pucks. There was no puck support. They were playing 1-on-1 battles. And Tampa Bay started coming back due to that. So the Leafs need to keep their foot on the gas, and that comes with confidence at the end of the day. Speaking of confidence, let's talk about Sheldon Keefe. What an amazing timeout he ended up calling after the second goal. For those of you who know or don't know, the coach's job to settle a team down is huge. They talked about it up here in Canada. You might not have heard it down there, Bolts fans, but when Sheldon Keefe called that timeout after the second goal, it slows the momentum down at Tampa Bay. The crowd's going insane. You get 30 seconds to try to settle the crowd down a bit. I know they're not going to settle down, but it's still, you let them burn out the best you can. You tell your team to relax. You tell your team to calm down. You may need that timeout near the end of the game, but there is no more important time to call it than when you're in trouble. And I thought that was the right time to do it. So as a coach, I love coaches that call timeouts at these point in time. I think that's a big brain play by Sheldon Keefe. I actually think that may have won them the game because it really did help settle them down and take away even a little bit of the momentum of the Tampa Bay Lightning. So great coaching move there by Sheldon Keefe. I also really like the fact that he balanced all 3 lines. I like that you have a Tavares up there with Kase and Nylander. Nylander, God damn it. Everybody's got to enunciate their name differently. I can't look at Nylander and not say Nylander. I'm an old guy. He played on the Canucks. It's the way she goes. So Nylander, Tavares, Kase. I like that as a second line. Tavares, still cold, I understand, but they can't stay cold forever. That's the key to the game. The first line, the superstar line, Bunting, Matthews, and Marner. I thought about this as the game started. You tell me if you're following my train of thought. Maybe you thought similarly. I was really thinking maybe you should put Kerfoot back with those 2 guys. I know Bunting's played with them all year. It's been a special line, so some of you might go, that's really dumb, coach. But it's not. When you've seen the same line all year, teams can prepare for it. And I thought Tampa Bay couldn't really prepare for the speed of Kerfoot with Matthews and Marner on that line. So I was curious to see if Bunting was going to push back. He doesn't. He sticks with the horses that brought him to the dance. Look, there is a valid reason to do either. Having Kerfoot up there, having Bunting up there. Keefe wins. Right call. Goes well. So we know the top 6 is set. And then it gives you a really nice line 3. Like Mikheyev, Kampf, and Kerfoot. That's a lot of speed. They caused a lot of problems through there. And I frankly loved Jason Spezza coming back into this lineup. Like, I think Spezza needed to be there the whole time. I know I've shown the stats. He's a replaceable level player. He's a depth player at this point. Technically, there are way better players that should be on that line, but you need those veteran guys in order to do it. So I thought Spezza on there was awesome. Blackwell on there was awesome. Engvall on there was awesome. I do not agree with the Wayne Simmons, Kyle Clifford ad. I don't think you need the physicality of it. I think they actually get themselves in trouble and put themselves into the box way too many times. I've been watching every game of the playoffs. I've seen similar 4th lines doing this. They take penalties at inopportune times, and that just takes time away from your top 9 to do work. You've heard me say, I don't think the 4th line matters, and I gotta always clarify this. The 4th line is a luxury in the playoffs. In the regular season, it helps keep your guys fresh. It keeps wear and tear off. But in the playoffs, you gotta run your horses. You gotta run your top 9, especially your top 6. you're going to put your talent out there regardless. So you can get away with 3 lines in the NHL. What you're looking for a 4th line to do in the playoffs is 1, not to get scored on, 2, not to take a penalty. That is key. You just need neutral, a few little bits of rest, some veteran guys to get on there. But it's really neat when you end up with a guy like Engvall on the 4th line and Spezza on the 4th line. That's some skill. That's a line I think you can trust. It's a line you can trust not to do anything stupid. It's a line you can trust to possibly produce, and Blackwell produced on it tonight. So very successful lineup for the Leafs. I don't normally spend a ton of time on lines here, Leafs Nation and Bolts fans, and you know that. The reason for it is lines are not static. They always move. This isn't the NFL where you're like designating starters. Line 1 is pretty much dead. Line 1 is just a line on a depth chart. Line 2 could be line 1 at any moment in time, vice versa. You have middle 6, top 6. It's always fluid. Injuries change. When guys get on me or anybody like, that guy's on this line, this guy's on that line, he's on that line, you got the lines wrong. Shut up, man. Like, that's not how hockey runs. I don't even run a bench that way. No coach does. They go in with chemistry, but they're not afraid to mix them up, change them up for a whole bunch of different reasons. A very complex piece. But at the end of the day, it's not so complex that fans shouldn't be talking about it. I'm not saying it's the funnest thing to talk about. It's just one of those things where it actually doesn't matter as much as people talk about it. Like, it's the most visible piece that we love to talk about, but it doesn't matter that much. It matters. We just overvalue it. Interesting line combinations as well for the Bolts. They start out with a Brayden Point line. It's kind of neat when you bump Point out to the wall. Like, I don't know if I agree with that. Like, you got Cirelli in the middle, you got Point in the middle. I know they're going to switch up at times, but I don't see any reason John Cooper should be pumping Brayden Point out to the wall. Point's the best centerman on this team. And it's not a knock to Steven Stamkos. Stamkos the best goal scorer on this team. Stamkos the best point producer on this team. I mean, it could be Kucherov, but for now, I'm going to give it to Stamkos. This team's so stacked that it's really hard just to pick a horse. So forgive me, Bolts fans, if you disagree. But Brayden Point's back-checking and defensive prowess is so damn strong that when I look at that, I go, I don't know. But hey, they end up bumping Cirelli out there. That makes sense. I mean, being able to win draws is a very important part of this game. And then when you look at the third line with Hagel, Nick Paul, Ross Colton, like, I love that third line. It's a very, very good third line. And their fourth line, I don't know. Is it getting long in the tooth? Like, the Pat Maroon, Corey Perry trying to draw guys into the box. It's been effective one game, but I think 2 out of 3 games now, it hasn't been super effective. Corey Perry's a guy that should be using his skill along with Bellemare. Pat Maroon's like, you're not going to take him out of the lineup, but I think the guy's got to take a step back and look to put pucks on net as opposed to drawing guys away. I know they think it's their job, and it is their job, but I'm not sure if the Tampa Bay Lightning, we're talking about them, if the Toronto Maple Leafs are going to bite again. Leafs fans, even though you dominated this game, it's really interesting when you take a look at the advanced statistics. If you were biting your nails, you had very good reason to do it. At the end of the day, the Bolts had every opportunity to win this game and theoretically should have won this game. We always say this is why you play the game. You don't play it on stat sheets, but stat sheets get to tell you very accurate stories. And the accurate story this tells you is that there were 12 high danger chances versus 3. So you end up scoring 3 goals, but there's only 3 high danger chances. You had 17 scoring chances versus 32 for the Tampa Bay Lightning. And obviously the Corsi is quite high for Tampa Bay with 49 chances directed towards the net versus 33 for the Leafs. When we're talking in the advanced stats category, what does this say? It says Jack Campbell was amazing. And that's great. That's what you need. Does he steal the game? I consider it a theft of the game when the goalie is the only one that shows up and you win like a 1-0 or 2-1 game that you shouldn't win. That's what I consider stealing. When you put up 5 goals, this is a team effort. So very balanced. If you want to call it a steal, you can call it a steal. Vasilevskiy was not great. Not for Vasi anyway. Like, the expectations on him are high. Campbell totally exceeds expectations, doesn't he? But I mean, the Leafs able to score right away. There were a lot of things clicking for Toronto this game. Now, finally, before we take a look at a couple of the goals, Tampa Bay is now 16-0 in the playoffs after a loss, and they kept that train rolling last game. So we said this is going to go to game 7. Toronto wins home ice advantage back, which is huge. So even if Toronto loses next game, that's okay because they still have their home ice advantage. But it'll be interesting to see if Toronto can break the streak of Tampa Bay 16 wins after a loss in the playoffs. So if Toronto breaks it and takes the next game, I'm going to say the series is over. Toronto's got it. Look, Toronto fans are biting their nails. They're nihilists. They're not going to believe it till it happens. Bolts fans are never going to believe they're in trouble until they're out. Both are valid. I'm telling you as a neutral observer here who at the end of the day is just a Jets fan and a guy that loves hockey. I'm not afraid to make a prediction when things go that way. And right now, all the momentum is looking at the Leafs. The speed looks good for the Leafs. You know what? If I had to hitch my horse to a wagon for who's going to win this series, I'm hitching it to the Leafs. And Bolts fans, you remember, I bet on the Bolts. I literally put my money where my mouth is. And I put my money where my mouth is using BetUS. Head over to betus.com, Canadian and American residents. 125% deposit bonus for first-time players. We'd love to have you over there. Just like the super thanks, all proceeds go to support this channel. So if you think I'm wrong with the Leafs or the Bolts, hey, head over there and prove yourself and your wallet right. The Maple Leafs get the first look they want on the power play with Auston Matthews up top. The puck ending up on Auston Matthews' stick. This is going to be a tough save for Vasilevskiy. And it's interesting because Morgan Rielly ends up down low. And the more I watch this Leafs power play, I love how fluid they are. Every player is willing to trade spots. Morgan Rielly has been down low more than any defenseman I've seen on the power play. And I love the confidence of the Toronto Maple Leafs with only 10 seconds left to keep pushing like this. Rielly doesn't come to the top. They leave Matthews up there. That's very dangerous considering Tampa Bay is going to be leaving the box and everybody from the Maple Leafs bench is going to be screaming for 10-second count. Now, obviously, that shot takes an incredible rebound as you ended up seeing over there. I'll go ahead. I'll move my head. That shot bounces off of Vasilevskiy and it ends up rocketing to the corner. We talked about this before. This is the way these pads are designed. Vasilevskiy does a perfect play as a goaltender, direct it into the corner. But you got to love what Nylander ends up doing here. I mean, he is such a key cog to this power play. He's so fast. The Leafs are so fast. He's so talented offensively. He's able to pick it up with 9 seconds left, retool for that second shot that ends up generating the goal. You see there in 1 second, 2 seconds, he's already in less than 2 seconds reset the power play and got Matthews back to the top of the point, back into that shooter position. Again, hyper risky here in order to do that. They move the puck to the top. Boom. Big clapper from Matthews. That puck ends up bouncing out to the wonderfully elite Mitch Marner. I mean, you can see him picking up that puck down there. There's only 4 seconds left on the clock. Marner's going to shoot. That's the second save in a row from Vasilevskiy. That is 3 monster saves in under 6 seconds. But unfortunately, that puck is finally going to bounce out over here to Mr. Morgan Rielly, who ends up putting it in. And this is why the Leafs power play is so deadly. There's just so many darn scores in the Leafs, and their ability to hunt pucks and take rebounds off pads is just incredible. Well done by all 4 of those guys. And Bolts fans, there's nothing your penalty kill can do on that one. They did everything right. It was just an absolutely incredible display of offense by the Maple Leafs at that point. And that's what's supposed to happen on a power play. So you're supposed to be able to break those down. It doesn't happen every time. I got no criticism to the Bolts on that one. Hey, look, we go back to goal 2. You know who gets the big assist here on goal 2? It's this guy in net, Jack Campbell. That was a nice dump in that ends up going off the wall. These are set plays. We practice these in hockey all the time. The puck bounces up off the wall right over here to the Tampa Bay player's stick, and you can see he is all alone. Campbell's got to make a beauty save here. Campbell goes down. He bites. The back check of Toronto is massive at this point, and we talked about them being able to skate with confidence. This is huge confidence right now for the Leafs on that back check. However, that puck ends up sitting. You can see it. Oh my goodness, it's loose. Campbell is out of position. Desperation save. Amazing job by Campbell. But the Leafs are going to turn this over, and this is how they spring in order to get a goal. Engvall is our second unsung hero here. Take a look at this stick lift against the Tampa Bay Lightning. If he doesn't make that stick lift, I mean, that puck is laying right there. That puck is likely going to go in. And here's the deal. You can't replace size. When a guy is this big, this long, this lanky, his neck's like a giraffe, you know his arms are going to be long as well too. It is very hard to replace that. So even though he is behind the play at this point, he's actually a stride away. Most guys wouldn't be able to make this stick lift due to their size. Engvall can. You got to love what he did there. Great hard work. From the stick lift, Jack Campbell makes a big save there. Now you've got a 4-on-2 down low, and this is what we call the transition game, kiddies. You end up moving the puck up and through. They get way too aggressive. This is not what you want to do if you're Tampa Bay. Why are you stepping up on this one? You need to back out. You need to realize when you're in a bit of trouble, you only want to pinch if you're 100% on the puck, and you're not 100% on the puck on this one. Why? Because it ends up popping right through your legs. Like you tried, but ugh. risky. We know what happens next. They go down on a 3-on-1. They make Vasilevskiy just eat it. There's nothing Vasi's going to do on that tic-tac-toe, but that goal starts in the defensive zone. Great defense leads to great offense. So really nice stick lift. Beautiful save by Campbell. Beautiful hustle back by the Leafs. Poor pinch by the Tampa Bay Lightning. That costs them. And that is the goal that I think, really flipped this game over. Like a 1-goal lead. Okay, sure. But a goal like that, pretty tough. Now, fans of this channel, you may know this, you may not know this. If you fail to score at one end of the ice, the likelihood that the transition is going to bite you in the butt and it's going to go the other way and end up in the back of your net, for me, feels like 100%. It's an over-exaggeration, of course, but if you don't score, you hit a post, you shoot high and wide, or there's an amazing save, it always feels like the opposing team puts it in the back of your net in the transition game immediately after. Goal number 3, the GWG ends up in the transition game. So we move this a little bit forward, and what you end up seeing here is you see Lyubuskin making a decision here. He's going to stand up. He's going to play him at the line. You want to stand up and play him at the line if it's 1-on-1, but guess what? It's 1-on-2. Lyubuskin makes the right decision because they score, but from a technical standpoint, this is a absolutely horrible choice. You do not want to stand up because all you need is a quick little puck poke out and you're going to leave them alone on a breakaway. However, we can't forget about hero David Kampf here. I mean, this is a hard skating stride position. This is how you come back and puck support. If you want to go ahead and win championship games, you need guys like this doing this. And he ends up coming back and changes a just problematic situation caused by Lyubuskin stepping up on a 2-on-1 and turns it into a goal and a massive hit and highlight reel for Lyubuskin. It only takes 2 seconds to see that massive hit there by Lyubuskin. You can see where the puck is and look at Kampf close that gap. I mean, this is what you can do with speed. He's now almost neutral with the Tampa Bay Lightning, and this allows them to pick it up and go down and score. What you see here is Kampf absolutely doing proper puck support. So now that the Leafs have picked up the puck, this is proper puck support. This is exactly what you want to see from a centerman. This is a defensive first guy. He's back-checked the entire way. He's come all the way around in order to support the puck and to support the breakout. Can you get an assist on your own goal? Because I feel like this guy deserves it. What you're about to see next is what we term in the industry as a shit pass. That's the professional term. What an absolutely junk play. I mean, you have all the support in the world to just go up the wall, but nope, let's just throw it blindly through the middle. But don't worry about it. Superhero David Kampf is on the case. He continues in proper defensive side positioning. Tampa Bay makes a little bit of a puck fumble. Who's there? David Kampf. Little poke away, and we know what happens. He gets rewarded with a beauty goal. So let's just recalibrate. Lyubuskin, terrible choice. Not what you want to do. David Kampf bails him out. Okay, the puck turns over because of an absolutely amazing back check. Giveaway through the middle. Terrible choice. Don't worry. David Kampf bails him out. Then it ends up going into the transition game the other way. And what does he do? He pots a goal. If that goal could really count, it should be Kampf from Kampf from Kampf. The best goal maybe I've ever seen the Leafs score. Like if you want to talk about a third line, just clinic of a play. That was it. All right, Leafs, Bolts fans, that brings us to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed this game as much as I did. The Bolts had an almost successful comeback at the end of the day, 3-2. They were this close. The Palat goal was huge. The fact that Colton scores in the power play is huge, but then we know that timeout ends up kicking in and the Leafs kick in 2 empty netters after that. There's really nothing special. I've looked at the 2 goals for the Bolts. I'm not saying they weren't special goals. It's just a very repetitive system in order to break down at that. So those are the 3 things that I really wanted you guys to take away from hockey school today. Hey, look, Leafs Bulls fans, let's go ahead and see if the Leafs can break that 16-0 record, or Bolts fans, you let me know down below if that 16-0 record is going to become 17-0 next game at home.